Glenn, you're up.
Hi, my name is Clinton. I'm in New Jersey, Central Jersey. The best part of my day was getting plants from the store. I bought seeds and sort of garden equipment, and I'm going to start growing tomatoes.
Oh, cool.
So you're gonna have to say that you got what?
Oh, I got seeds
Oh, seeds.
and gardening,
Nice.
so I'm growing tomatoes.
Nice.
Tomatoes.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, we're I don't know. It's about in Texas, it's like it was beautiful today, like so perfect, but it's getting near that it's about to be sort of awful time. So we're enjoying it while we can. Well, welcome all of y'all. Thank you for joining me. It's episode 4. We've made 4 weeks, and so I'm really excited. As some of you, I think actually all of y'all have joined for at least one prior episode. I'm going to do the same thing and rotate between talking to you guys and answering some questions and flip into the PowerPoint. And so with that, let me screen share and switch on over.
People are asking about your drawing already.
So it's May 14th. It's our 4th episode, like I just mentioned, and we are featuring a great guy named Jesse Lyda. His Instagram handle is on there. If y'all aren't following him yet, please do. He's phenomenal. We had a wonderful visit earlier in the week, and I know you guys are really going to enjoy getting to know him a little bit more. Let's go to our first question. From Ricky, what is your favorite characteristic in an individual, no matter what they do in life? That's a great question. I thought about this one very hard, and I do like to have photos to illustrate my answers. And this one is very, very dirty, actually. So you might want to really grab your because there's no way this photo I'm about to show is going to make the highlight reel. So y'all, this is super dirty. So if y'all are ready, here is the photo. I got y'all. So it's like literally dirty. So that's me. I am in the capital of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh wow!
In 2015, we did a Habitat for Humanity build there with a lot of other American volunteers. We didn't know anybody, but if you look at that photo a little closely, you can see my tennis shoes that I worked in all day are to the side of me, and I've just got my loafers on, but it's like the dirt is so thick on my body. It's like it's
like hair.
Right. You just look at the difference between my feet and the dirt that's like completely caked on my body. The deal was like, Habitat for Humanity builds, like I've done several, and you go and you put up some walls and hammer some nails, and that's awesome, fun, really hard work. We showed up at the site and there was nothing, just the lot. And so we had to dig the foundation. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was beyond hard. Trinidad and Tobago in the middle of summer. It was slightly hot. And so the answer to your question, actually, the thing that I admire most in individuals is when they have a very strong work ethic. Is that a little too hot for Instagram?
Probably.
You think so? I mean, the deal with the butt is you definitely can't have a butt close up, with the cheeks spread, that you're going to get totally busted. So if you kind of angle it and just don't have it too close. But see, that one to me is a little iffy. I probably will not put it up there.
You could blur it.
I could blur it. Yeah,
You could just put a little blur.
Yeah.
But sometimes that doesn't even work.
Yeah, I
My
like.
one friend blurred out his whole crotch and they took his picture.
Yeah, yeah. I've got to be. The deal is, y'all. I love stud talk because I get to share a little bit dirtier stuff. Like no big deal. But the thing is, like, as I'm trying to build this brand, and now I have a whole YouTube series about having an Instagram page. Like, I can't
Yeah,
really
you don't
press my
wanna-
luck on the Instagram because, like, that's what the whole thing is about now. So of course I want it to be hot and risque, but I've got to really kind of play it safe. So Instagram censorship, it is what it is. Certainly there's other platforms if you want to go like full on show
Twitter.
your stuff. Instagram is my favorite, and that's where I'm devoting a lot of attention. And obviously my YouTube series is about building accounts there. So yeah, I'm playing by the rules there on Instagram.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
On the Instagram censorship. Is it tied into when, the person that follows who just wants to report everybody, like, is that part of it?
That's a phenomenal question. I have no idea. A lot of people say things like that, and they write things in their bio like, don't follow me if you're gonna report me or whatever.
Mhm.
I have to believe that does play a factor if the Instagram system gets like a great number of reports or whatever. Very honestly, I've been flagged a couple of times, right? Very, knock on wood, not many at all, and it's happened really fast. I think it's some kind of smart technology or something. I think it's programmed in the software that there's a bot or something that detects it. But
I would agree with that because a few times I've been flagged, it's almost been instantaneous when I post.
So I can't believe it's a reporting thing always. Although if there's multiple reports, I think that would certainly get noticed for sure. Mm-hmm. There you are. Is that the photo I just saw that you used for your Zoom?
I did. I put it up recently. Yeah.
Nice. Well, we both love that photograph. And this one, first of all, y'all, there's Jesse's Instagram handle. If you are not following him already, like take a break right now and go follow him. His content on Instagram is amazing, and I'm very, very honored that he's joining us tonight. The photographer is also listed there. Hey, Jesse, can you tell us a little bit about this photograph? Where are you? What's going on?
Oh, sure. So I had just gotten back to New York after being away for over a year because of the pandemic. And I had been chatting with this photographer who's listed as Robert Reese Photography, but his name is Adam. And we've been chatting for like a good year. And, I made it out of quarantine here and I was getting vaccinated. And so I started to feel a little bit more comfortable about getting out. So I reached out to him and said, hey, are you still interested in collaborating? And he said, sure. So we negotiated like how we wanted to do it, how much time. And he sent a few options for studios. And so I think I just got that jacket actually, because I like to, one of my little dirty secrets is that I like to shop a lot and my husband hates me for it. So I just funneled it into my Instagram as much as, even though I don't always wear a lot of clothes on
like a business expense. Yeah, totally.
Well, I've tried that one. And he's like, no.
Well, one thing that Jesse and I actually have in common, and one of the things that I really admire about his page is, shocker, he is clothed every now and then, which sometimes I do too. And I'll admit, I prefer the less clothes, like most of our guests probably do. But we talked about this earlier in the week. I appreciate the variety, and you're so handsome. So keep mixing it up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the encouragement. I had a pretty okay childhood, until I started to figure out that I was gay. And then my family being very Southern and very conservative, we ran into a little bit of a bump there. but yeah, I think I finally realized when I was like perusing the Kmart underwear aisle of the Hang 10 bikinis that is like, I think I like boys. So, and that kind of summed it up for me right there. And so I had that, and I didn't come out to my parents until I was 15.
But still 15 is young. We talked about this earlier. I think I was 20, 22 because I did want to wait till I had finished college, but I'm proud of you. I mean, that's young, Jesse, and especially in that I mean, because I also grew up in Deep South. I mean, population 12,000, upstate South Carolina. Mine was a little more different, I'd say, because my hometown was a college town. And even though it was South Carolina, I think college towns with the education have a little bit less lean.
Well, you would think that would have been Lynchburg, but it was a Christian college and there were other universities too. Ironically, that town also hosted, I think it was in the top 20, a performance arts high school that I ended up going to for dance and acting. I mean, going from the country, coming out to my parents, which was tricky at first, but ultimately they ended up supporting me. You know, I think they like to say that they were more socially open or liberal on those ideas, because we did have like some gay relatives in the family, but then financially it's where they got into like the whole I'm a conservative kind of thing. But I ended up going to this performing arts high school that my parents supported me to go, and it was probably a lifesaver for me because like I didn't have it easy. Like I was bullied, called all the names, beat up, the whole thing. And then there was like this beacon of hope for me that I started going to, I think it was the summer of 95. Yeah. And so I started musical theater, then I went into the full-time dance program. And so I would do my academics in the morning from like 7:30 till noon, and then I would either be driven because I didn't have my license yet, or when I did get my license, I was able to drive myself to dance school, and then I would eat a quick lunch, stretch, and then we would dance from 1:30 until 6, eat, and then rehearse, and we'd repeat that like 5 days a week, and then also we would sometimes rehearse on Saturdays too. Oh, and I was a scholarship student, so I had to clean the studios on top of that. So my life was dance. That's how I survived being in that area.
Jesse, when you said to document your progress or your journey, was your vehicle was it Instagram? Is that
No, I mean I've kept a lot of those photos like private, and just because I was doing it for my personal self. But like I think when I started to feel more comfortable and confident is when I started putting myself out there. And it was really weird because like normally I'm the most sensitive person in the room, and I grew up like taking any hint of criticism as like the worst thing in the world, and I would be devastated. And I mean, I had a lot of like issues around depression and anxiety around it. But when I started working within the platform of Instagram, it's like I had this weird thing where I didn't care. I kind of hit this point where I just said, I'm like 37, about to be 38. I just want to enjoy myself and enjoy what I do. And you know, I'm thinking like, hopefully when I cross my fingers, if I hit 90, I want to look back thinking like I did that and I had a good time doing it. And there's no shame in that whatsoever. I mean, I haven't put the earlier stuff out there yet because like I know people sometimes like to do the transformation like posts of like showing where they were.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know how I feel about that because I don't ever want to give the impression that transformation is only like a physical one. You know, I think transformation is also very much mentally and emotionally like how you're feeling too. So I've never actually done one. I'm not opposed to it. But yeah, I look back and I think that I did that. Like I took a chance. Like I was behind the camera and so one day I was like, I don't want to be behind the camera anymore. I try to think of like characters who I might relate to. And sometimes I try to be able to reflect them in the caption. You know, some days you go dry when you're thinking of a caption and you're like, I don't know what to say. So I have a pool of people that I can send to. It's like, what are your first thoughts? And send me back something. And once they get, depending on the photo, once they get past the shock value of the photo, they can actually get right to the meat of it, so to speak.
I'm glad you shared that. I'm glad, because we talked about, I'm glad you shared that, because I'm very jealous of that, and I need to get that set up with some friends.
It's helpful, and it really kind of like identifies like those of your friends who are like similar minded. Like I say it up front, I'm very quick-witted with the dirty mind, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think that I'm good with puns. Some of it, like my comebacks are very dad joke-esque. So I've embraced like the dad joke scene a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's all in good fun, and finding and sometimes the photo is just so obvious. You don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Just like no caption necessary. Like I think I have one just like shirt that said "Call me Daddy." I'm like, there's no caption needed for this.
Y'all, about Jesse being accessible and friendly to others, that very much includes me. And when I was gaining a lot of followers or popularity and kind of doing really well, you complimented, you reached out and noticed that, and I just wanted to say thanks. That was very thoughtful, and people don't have to do that, so
It should, though. We're all in it together. And I don't get competitive with other people. I get inspired.
Right.
So that's how I work.
Same. But I love that about you. So I appreciate that, and thank you. Now let's look at a few.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I love this one. One thing that Jesse and I do like to have some clothes on our Instagram pages, but we also enjoy not having clothes, and sometimes that's a little tricky to make sure all the things that need to be hidden are kind of hidden. Jesse, I love this one. Can you tell our guests a little bit about it?
Sure. So it was my very first photo shoot with Bellamore Photography, and it was in a property that my husband was working on, and it was empty. And so she and I were just getting to know each other. Danny is her name. And, I kind of just said, this is what I do. I think to date, I'm still her only male client. She actually does boudoir stuff for women to kind of help empower women to feel good about their bodies. And so I think she got talked into it. So, well, we could try it and see how it works. And then she ended up really loving working with me. So there's this great big room, and we just decided to start dancing around the room and strike a number of different poses. And in this one, I don't know why I had a flash, but I have a couple in the series that are even more crouched tight, but I immediately thought like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, as he's coming out of the bubble. So, because you see the curve of the spine and whatnot. So yeah, but we had the best time shooting it.
I've got plenty of comments, but would you tell our guests your thoughts? What's happening here?
So the setting is the Madonna Inn. Ben Sklar was a friend of a person that I was collaborating with on like ideas, and he's shot for the New York Times and a number of other projects, and like he's a really, really talented guy. Also, he's a straight guy, believe it or not. I've only worked with one gay photographer. Interesting. I've worked with all women, one straight guy, and one gay man. And so, but he came in and he said, I really want to do something fantastical. And have you heard of the Madonna Inn? And I said, wait, I have, and I just don't know much about it. He said, there's just this crazy ass place. So that's the setting. It's one of their robes that they have, which they don't make anymore. And I did take it. And I'm sure they charged my card, which is fine. So it's a pink robe. And that underwear is actually a size too small for me, because my husband decided he wanted to surprise me with like a bunch of underwear. And then he got me like all smalls. And, depending on the brand, I can pull off a small here and there. But like in general, I'm like a medium. I'm like, this isn't going to work on me. And he's like, just try it. And
it works.
So we found a use for it in this really crazy room, and yeah, we had a whole setup of them and like different looks and whatnot, and one of the ones that I haven't put up a lot because it's more darker is like I was in like an all rock shower thing, and I was I guess the theme was like, well, I could be like gay Tarzan or something like that. I don't know, with the water flowing.
Well, so I did not know the hotel setting background there. So that's very cool and interesting. I have numerous observations, but so I have photographers that put me in these type of poses, and I just wanted to say kudos to that because
Ooh, yeah.
This is a tough one. I mean, it looks very challenging, but if you look at your face, you look totally sexy and like you're just completely digging it.
Well,
and
he probably had to say to me, it's like,
you've described y'all having real different personalities, but he's supportive of the whole modeling and everything.
I think he had questions in the beginning, but yeah, the one thing I've learned about my husband over the years is like, he's never actually, and this makes me sound very spoiled, but like, he's never actually told me no on much of anything. I think, of course we've argued on various points of our life, but like anything I've wanted to do creatively, like he's always been incredibly supportive. And and when I think he understood, what I was going for, and this is just another extension of my creativity and expression, he's like, I totally get it. And, that's contrasted with like some friends, like, cause I sort of came out of like nowhere with this for some of my friends, and they didn't understand it. And, some of them unfollowed me, which was fine. I'm not everyone's thing. And then someone was like, why are you doing this? And, I think a lot of times social media, like, brings up a lot of like other people's stuff that's going on for them. And what we see in other people brings up that. But, I just think there's room for everyone on the platform, and, we can all share any aspect of our life or no aspect. And and I'm very blessed to have a husband who's like deeply supportive. Like I was just showing him my latest albums, and he gets to see the ones that the photographers haven't done any Lightroom stuff on before. It's all the raw images too. And he was like, oh, I like that one. I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little bond that we had. And it's good. I put him on my platform every once in a while, usually anniversaries, like things like that, because, he is a part of my life. And, while I'm putting out there, like, a fun fantasy, which, parts of it are very much like from me, because like, I mean, they're my interest. It's like, this is also my life. It's like, I have a lovely person at home.
I am very happy you do that, actually, because as I've said kind of on this program before, it's a fun fantasy and it's amazing and so sexy, but I like to get a little taste of the reality every now and then too. And that's why I appreciate you speaking with us tonight and telling us some of your story.